Hello and welcome into the W&K page. I am George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here for Weather Now Kentucky, and boy, do we have an absolutely loaded video to get through tonight. It's a special broadcast this evening. We almost never go live on Saturdays anymore. It's usually my chill time. But again, we have a loaded broadcast to get through this evening. We have a snow chance tonight, a bigger snow chance Sunday going into Monday. We have absolutely brutal cold about to push its way through and only get stronger as we get through the beginning part of next week. I need to refresh my YouTube because my comments aren't showing up over there. Lily Lay on YouTube, hello, how are you doing? By the way, we are live on both YouTube and Facebook tonight, as always. So if you're seeing a comment that I'm responding to that you don't currently see on your site, don't be worried. It's probably on the other platform. Before we do get started, though, I want to ask that everyone taps the share button on the Facebook side. Tap the share button at the bottom portion of your screen. Get this video onto your news feed so that your friends and family can view it as well. And so that way everyone is informed and up to date on what to expect. We do have a share goal of 50 shares on here. We already have 200 viewers across the board, so hopefully we can hit that goal pretty easily. Make sure you're saying hello whenever you come in so I can give you a nice little greeting. We are a smidge early, so I'm going to give it another 60 seconds before we dive into the data. I want to make sure everyone has a nice chance to get in here, so that way I'm not caught repeating myself 45 times. I'm sure everyone can appreciate that. Also, just a quick note, I am feeling, I struggle with anxiety quite bad, okay? I do take some medicine for it, but I am feeling quite anxious today for I don't know why. But if you hear me talking a little bit faster than usual, it's because I really can't catch my breath today. I'm not sure what it is. But just bear with me. We'll also make a written post at some point in the future. So if you do struggle, there will be other ways to get the information. We have a ton of viewers in here already. Hello, everyone on both YouTube and Facebook. Hello, Tiffany, Matt, Great Someone, Karen, Cindy, Mimi K, I hope I'm saying that correctly, Snickerdoodle, Patricia, and of course, as always, Tara in here on YouTube. Hello, everyone on Facebook as well. Gina, Latanya, Teresa, Karen, Candace, hello. Allie, hello from Bowling Green. Allie, I'll always talk about it. I think if more people talked about it, it would be a lot more better for a lot of folks. Thank you, Kendra, for that. I appreciate you. But just again, I have some anxiety going today. I'm not really sure why. Sometimes it just happens out of nowhere. But I'll try my best with you guys. I'll try my best. Let's give it about 30 more seconds. Again, we're only about halfway to our share goal, so I know there's a lot of new folks in here that just joined in. I am George Herbig, Chief Forecaster for W&K. If you wouldn't mind, tap the share button at the bottom portion of your screen there. Get this video out to your news feed so that your friends and family can view it as well. Make sure everyone's getting informed up to date on what to expect. Because realistically, guys, we are looking at a chance for the first winter storm in Kentucky in a couple of years. And it's not going to hit all of Kentucky, but we'll break that down for you. We do have a probability map that has been created just for you, to debut tonight for you guys. I will also talk about the brief snow chance that we're going to see tonight as well. Again, we're going to also cover the absolutely brutally cold temperatures that are pushing its way through tonight. Or not tonight, I'm sorry. Sunday going into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as well. So lots to get through. Hello, Joanna. Hello, Dave. I'm seeing all of you. If I don't respond to you, by the way, don't feel bad. I am seeing your comments, though. Hello, everyone. Hello. Okay, I think we're in a good spot now to go ahead and get this thing rolling. So we've had a lot of talk this week. When this system first showed up 6 or 7 days ago on model data, yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, it showed an absolutely record-breaking snowstorm for Kentucky. Tonight, is it showing that? No, it's not. But things are turning back into our favor. So I'll go through all the data with that. Again, we do have a snow probability map created that I will share with you guys as well. There are going to be a couple small ad slots in this video, so just bear with me through that and help us support the businesses that give us the ability to help everybody as well. Susan, thank you for becoming a subscriber for 2 years and 2 months. Wow, thank you so much for that. Okay. I don't know why the alerts were off. Let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. So, first I want to show what's currently occurring. And what we see is, what is this up here? Hello? Meade County already dropping all the way down to 22 degrees tonight. And it's just now hitting 8 o'clock Eastern time. Mid-20s to upper 20s for a lot of folks in Kentucky. On the eastern side, you're looking a little bit cooler than those on the southwestern or south central side. When I compare that to model data, and it's very important to do that, I'm going to zoom this into the local view so you can see a little bit better here. When we compare that to model data, we see that according to the HRRR model, everyone in Kentucky should be at 31 or 30 degrees. Some places in Kentucky are well below that. Some places are right at that. So we can already see that even though this run is only 2 hours old, model data is still struggling with the amount of cold air that is available. If you're asking me, George, are we going to run into any temperature problems like we did last Saturday, where it's going to be too warm to cold snow? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The cold is looking brutal. Just by the way, going into tonight into the overnight hours, this is actually valid for midnight right here. You can already see that Arctic front just sneaking on up on us out there from the northwest there. That's going to crash on in overnight and cause a lot of places to go down into the single digits by 8 a.m. Central Time tomorrow morning. So if you have any church services or anything planned on Sunday mornings, make sure you plan accordingly. It's going to be absolutely brutally cold. Wind chills, by the way, for those of you asking, not any better. Wind chills of negative 11 in Elizabethtown, negative 14 in Louisville, negative 10 in Lexington, 1 degree in Somerset, 16 in Pikeville is going to feel awfully warm. Paducah at negative 12 as well. And Evansville, Indiana, taking the championship there with negative 17 wind chill projected for Sunday morning. That's just the start of it, guys. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday looks even colder than that. Okay, I know a lot of people were asking, is this like the cold that we saw back on Christmas? The difference is the length of time this cold will be here. It was cold last year on Christmas for 3 or 4 days. Not last year now, I guess technically 2 years ago on Christmas. It was brutally cold, but that only lasted 48 to 72 hours. This is going to last, unfortunately, quite a bit longer than that. Thank you, Angela, for becoming a subscriber on Facebook. I appreciate you. So let's go ahead and talk about the brief snow chance that we see tonight, and then we'll go into the main show for Sunday night going into Monday morning. I do want to show you that snowfall does start tonight around 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. It's not going to snow everywhere tonight. Again, this is just a little pre-show to the main show, okay? This is actually because the Arctic air is moving in, and Arctic air is like, think about your hand and put a wet sponge in it. Arctic air is your hand. It does not like water in that sponge, so it will squeeze the water out of the sponge. The Arctic air will actually try to squeeze the water out of the atmosphere because it's so dense, it's so dry, it does not like water. Okay, so that's the result, this is actually going to be the result of that occurring. It's going to squeeze all the water out of the atmosphere and create some snow showers tonight. And they could be briefly strong in some places. And we're seeing a little bit of a stronger patch out here toward just to the northwest of Bowling Green. So, again, those can actually be a little bit stronger tonight. So watch for some slick spots if you're traveling late tonight going into tomorrow morning. I'm going to show you the snowfall totals for tonight. They don't look impressive. Again, if you're just not tuning in, this is just tonight. This is not for the actual main show. Just for tonight, maybe a half inch, maybe a dusting. However, temperatures being in the single digits or lower teens, you're talking about a lot of slick spots created just from a small dusting. So make sure if you got church tomorrow morning or whatever you may be doing tomorrow morning, plan ahead, check the travel conditions. There might be quite a bit of slick spots to occur, especially on sidewalks, decks, and in fact, even roads. Because salt and brine, by the way, I don't know if a lot of you know, but salt and brine only work down to about 15 degrees, depending upon what you're using. So our temperatures, as I just showed you, will go down to the single digits beyond that mark. And so salt and brine will not work tomorrow. And for a matter of fact, it won't work on Sunday and Monday either. So that's tonight. Before we get into the actual Sunday and Monday event, I do have a quick message from me from one of our partners. Stick through that and I'll give you all the information.
For everything you need to keep your home and property in great shape, stop by Right Implement this week. We have chainsaws, blowers, and line trimmers from Steel, long-lasting quality mowers, gators, small tractors, and generators from John Deere, Honda mowers and generators, and so much more for your home and property. Let us show you what it means to be treated right. Online at rightimp.com. With 15 locations throughout Kentucky and southern Indiana, we are the home place. Right Implement.
Thank you so much, Right Implement. I appreciate them so much. And by the way, they have so much great snow equipment that you might come in handy on Sunday and Monday. 15 locations to choose from. Make sure you go visit one of their locations and get some good snow equipment to handle things with some new snow and winter apparel. Great partners. Also, by the way, not an ad moment, but a truth moment. Phenomenal customer service. They actually answered a question for me a few days ago without having to push me to buy something. It was awesome. It was refreshing. So really great people out there. So I want to show you real quickly. Now we're going to talk about the Sunday and Monday system in Kentucky. Now this one's been a headliner for the last week. A lot of folks have been talking about it. It's had some interesting moments on model data. It really has. And by the way, I do see a lot of your questions. I see all of them. I'm going to answer those down toward the end of the video. I want to make sure we're getting all the information out first, uninterrupted, so that way I can make sure I give you a clear, concise image of what to expect. So we kind of have a war at play here. So there's several different models. Let me go ahead and show you. At the top portion of your screen, you can see a few of them, but there's even more than that. Cody, thank you for your 99 stars. I appreciate you, my friend. But there's even more models than what you see on your screen. But there's so many models that we look at, and it's been a weird last few days. The global models are fighting the high resolution models. The high resolution models are your short range models. They can see a lot better, but your global models are a little bit less detailed, but they can see further out, right? So the global models have been kind of showing one image and one scenario. High resolution models have been showing a completely different scenario. Global models are reading a lot into the Arctic air and wanting to suppress and push everything down to, let's say, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee areas. The high resolution models are really loving Kentucky and Tennessee. Okay, so it's kind of a fight between the two. So that's why we've waited so long before doing this video. I do want to tell you that throughout the day, there are 4 different times that models run. They run on Zulu time: 0Z, 06Z, 12Z, and 18Z. Basically, you have a very early morning run, a late morning into the early afternoon run, a late afternoon run, and a late night going to the overnight run. 3 out of those 4 runs have already occurred today. While I'm talking to you, actually, the late night run is starting to begin filtering in. All 3 of the runs that we've seen today have been a more favorable trend for snowfall for Kentucky on Sunday into Monday. The reason for that is I'm actually going to show you. We're going to click over to the NAM model here, and I want to show you just kind of what's happening above our heads so that we can get a general idea. Because when I give you a forecast, I don't like to just shove it in your face and say, here's what's going to happen. I want to actually break it down a little bit for you so that you can understand how we got to the idea that we got to, and understand that it might change over the next 12 to 14 hours, and it probably will change. But I just want to show you kind of what's happening here. So this is going to look wild on your screen. You're going to see a lot of bright colors, but I'll break it down for you. So this is Kentucky right here, right where my cursor is. I want to show you, this is the jet stream at what we call 500 millibar, basically 10,000 feet above our head. It's way up there. It's going to be absolutely whipping. So these browns and yellows that you're seeing are plus 100 mile per hour winds above our heads. Now, obviously, those won't make it down to the ground, but it just goes to show you how fast the jet stream is moving. So this is Monday morning, and our system is now making it into Kentucky. It's actually already in Kentucky, and you can see it exiting out the eastern side. Now, this is important because the main reason for the shift today has been because the winds above our heads are starting to get read a little bit better by higher resolution models. And if shifts continue throughout tonight, going into tomorrow, it is going to be because the winds above our heads are getting read better with each and every run. And what I mean by that is I'm actually going to zoom it into the regional view here. And I'm going to show you a little something that actually Mike, our partner, my forecasting partner, that he noticed with me earlier today. And see if I can find the correct one here. Naoma, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Thank you for the 200 stars. I appreciate you. What I want to point out to you here, and I'm not sure if you can see, you might have to lean into your phone a little bit, is this bright yellow streak that's on the western side of Kentucky, stretching from, let's say, Louisville down toward the Mayfield area going into the Tennessee area. That is important. This might be something very small that a lot of forecasters are going to miss. But this points to an idea of a deformation band occurring on the backside of the potential snow system on Sunday and Monday. Why is that important? A deformation band is a band of snow that's going to be a little bit heavier in a certain location, usually just next to what we call the Vort Max. So this would be a Vort Max right here, basically the maximum speeds in the upper atmosphere. And a deformation band can occur just to the right of it or just to the east of it. So like, for example, this band of yellow is actually in western Kentucky, and a heavier band of snow could occur, let's say from Hardin County to Grayson County, down toward Bowling Green. And the reason that is important is it can absolutely throw off snowfall totals, right? So deformation bands like to sit in one place for a little bit, absolutely dump snow, and then they'll disappear. So tomorrow, what's going to be important is for us to identify where that deformation band is going to set up, because it will increase snowfall totals for some folks. So I just wanted to point that out there for you. That's one way this forecast can change. There are multiple ways, but one way the forecast can change really quickly is where exactly that deformation band decides to place. So that's something that we've looked at and something we've identified. I want to show you now the temperatures that we're going to be dealing with as this event starts. So, and this is super, super important. I actually want to back this up just a bit, and we're going to switch over to the other model now, because this is more of a high resolution model. In case you didn't know, this is Kentucky. Where my cursor is now, just so you can have some context here. Where my cursor is now is Louisville. Where my cursor is now is Elizabethtown. Where my cursor is now is Bowling Green. Where my cursor is now is Paducah. Where my cursor is now is Lexington. And where my cursor is now is Somerset. Just so you have some context of where exactly you might be at on this map. So temperatures tonight, as we talked about, I'm going to dip all the way down to the single digits. As we note here, this model is a little bit warmer than the other model. This model is a warm bias model, so it is going to show a little bit warmer than probably what it will actually end up being. So this is the start of the event. I'm actually going to pull it to right here. This is the start of the event. The start. Remember, the start. 16 degrees in E-Town, 15 degrees in Louisville, 13 out in Paducah, 26 degrees out there in Pikeville, 23 down in Somerset, and 20 in Bowling Green. Why do these temperatures matter? Because when you're talking about snowfall, it occurs in ratios. Your typical or your average ratio for snowfall is what we refer to as 10 to 1. Basically, for every 1 inch of liquid, you get 10 inches of snow. I want to tell you that this, when you see this on radar tomorrow or Sunday night and going into Monday, it's not going to look impressive at all. And it's going to look like light snow. It's going to be like, you're going to be sitting there, you're going to be drinking your coffee or your hot chocolate, whatever you're going to be drinking tomorrow to stay warm. You're going to ask yourself, how in the world did George forecast this amount of snow? It's because of the snow ratio. When you're talking about temperatures that are anywhere between 15 to 20 degrees, you typically have a 17 or 18 to 1 ratio. When you go down toward the single digits, you're talking about a 20 or 21 to 1 ratio. Your 10 to 1 ratio is about 32 degrees. The colder you get, the higher your ratio. The higher your ratio, the more efficient your snowfall. You don't need as much liquid to occur in order to get bigger snowfalls, right? So that's why, for example, this past week when we had the backside snow, remember on last Tuesday when we had the backside snow and some folks woke up to some snowflakes going on, some big heavy snowflakes going on, even though it was 35 to 36 degrees. Well, snow can still occur, but your ratio is a lot smaller. So it was about a 5 to 1 ratio at that point. Flakes were massive. They were very wet. So that resulted in them melting very fast. When you're talking about a 17 to 20 to 1 ratio, the flakes are really powdery, really dry, almost like baby powder, right? So it stacks a lot easier. So you're talking about a much more efficient accumulation. I want to caution you and tell you that when this event starts, it will be all snow. In the middle of the event, it will be all snow. At the end of the event, it will be all snow. Usually in Kentucky, you're talking about a few hours of rain at first, and then maybe a couple hours of sleet, and then maybe 90 minutes of snow on the backside. This is not the case for the Sunday and Monday event. It's going to be so cold that, in fact, we're going to get more efficient snowfall. So I want to explain that to you a little bit more. The total QPF map, basically meaning the total amounts of liquid. Just want to make sure I haven't missed anything. Okay, good. I know I have not talked about amounts yet, by the way, or whoever was asking that. I'm kind of explaining how we're getting there so you can understand what's going to occur Sunday and Monday, because this is not a typical snow event for Kentucky, okay? I want to show you this QPF map. Now, this is going to look a little weird here. I'm going to actually zoom this into local so you can see a little bit better. And this will actually give you a better idea of what I'm talking about. This QPF map lets us know the amount of liquid that's going to fall. And you're looking at that and you're going 0.2 inches in E-Town, 0.4 inches in Somerset, 0.5 inches in Pikeville. That's not a lot of liquid, George. That's not a lot of liquid, George. And you'd be right. It's not. If this was a rain event or any type of other event and it's 35 degrees outside, we're talking about a little bit of cold rain and then we're going on about our days. The difference is we're talking about temperatures being between 10 to 15 degrees during this event. So we're going to increase our snow ratios, have a more efficient snowfall. So remember, I told you for every 10 inches of snow, you have 1 inch of liquid, right? So 0.2 inches of liquid in Elizabethtown, for example, on average would equal about 2 inches of snow. If you're talking about temperatures that are between 10 to 15 degrees, you can double that. So for example, instead of getting 2 inches of snow, you now get 4 inches of snow from the same amount of liquid. Am I making sense? Did I lose anybody? So that's why this snow event is kind of unique in the sense that there's not going to be a whole lot of liquid with it. But the snowfall itself will be so efficient. So let's go ahead and dive a little bit more into the details here. Actually, I've gone through all the details now. Let's go ahead and dive into what it kind of looks like. I'm going to back out to the regional view here so we can kind of see what we're talking about. So let's get toward right here. Can you see? Let's see here. Makes total sense. Perfect. No, you can't see what I'm about to tell you. So this is actually valid for 21Z. Take about 5 off of that. Makes it 17Z, which makes it about 5 o'clock. So this is valid for 5 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. You can see it's starting to approach that Western Kentucky area. And again, it's not... Jennifer, thank you for your 100 stars. I appreciate that over there on Facebook. Tiffany says you explain things so well. Thank you, Tiffany, on YouTube. I appreciate that. Thank you to all the new subs and follows and everything. You guys are going absolutely crazy tonight. If you haven't shared the video, by the way, please share the video. Help us get to our share go. Just welcome everyone. It's been a great night to talk with you guys. Overall, I want to show you this is not going to look impressive, but again, it's going to be very efficient. It's going to be very efficient. Snowfall around 7 to 8 p.m. on Sunday, now starting to approach central Kentucky. And snowfall around 10 to 11 p.m., now starting to approach central and eastern Kentucky. Snowfall around, this is valid for 5Z right here, so around midnight going into Monday, snowing in almost all of Kentucky at this point. Monday at about 2 to 3 a.m., snowing in all of Kentucky at this point. Monday at about 4 to 5 a.m., snowing in all of Kentucky at this point. Monday at about 6 to 7 a.m., snowing in all of Kentucky at this point. Monday at about 8 to 9 a.m., snowing in all of Kentucky at this point. Monday at about, at about 11 a.m. to noonish, it's snowing in eastern Kentucky at this point. And you kind of get the idea, and then the model tries to hint, again, what I just told you, that deformation band. The model tries to hint at that setting up and stalling in Kentucky even longer. So what we're talking about here is not an extremely strong event snowfall-wise, okay? What we're talking about here is a long duration event of very light snowfall. So you're kind of talking about a sprint versus a marathon. Do you want to sprint to some wet snow, or do you want to take a longer route, more of a scenic route, to get a nice fine snow that accumulates faster? Megan asked, is this all accumulating snow? Since it will be about 10 to 15 degrees throughout the entire duration of the event, and absolutely every single flake that falls will accumulate. There will be no melting. That's why you're talking about a super efficient snowfall, because there will be no melting. What I want to also tell you real quickly is, can this shift? Can this snow shift down to Tennessee and leave some of Kentucky out of it? It absolutely can. Can this snow shift to the north and leave a little bit of southern Kentucky out of it? It can, but it's not likely. Is this scenario that this current model is showing, is this a viable scenario? It absolutely is. And honestly, out of all the models that I've looked at, this has been the most realistic setup. With that said, there is some variation amongst the models. So I'm going to tell you right now, I do have a snow probability map that has been created for you to view. Before I show you that, I do have one more business thing to take care of. If you wouldn't mind, send through this message from one of our partners, Box Drop Barstown. Thank you so much for Box Drop. By the way, you get a free pillow with a purchase from Box Drop Barstown if you mention W&K. So get the free pillow, guys. We all know how important pillows are. So I'm taking my headset off for this part because, and I know there's going to be a lot of questions, okay? I do not have a snowfall accumulation map ready for you. I do, however, have a snowfall probability map, okay? The difference between the two is I obviously don't have amounts on here. Let me explain to you why I don't have that. I just spent the last, how long have we been live with you guys? I just spent the last 25 minutes explaining to you what we've been watching for. I did a 14 hours yesterday, 13 the day before that. I've been back here all day except for an hour to eat dinner since 9 a.m. again. And throughout those 36 hours over the last 3 days, what we've noticed is a lot of shifting on the model data. What we've noticed is a lot of different variables at play, talking about wind speeds above our heads. If the winds are going too fast, they'll rip the storm apart. If they're going too slow, it'll allow for more moisture to warm up and come up into the atmosphere and allow for more snowfall. If the placement of the low pressure when it moves through, the short wave when it moves through, it is a little bit off by 20, 30 miles, it makes a massive difference. So, there's a lot of variables at play. There really is. My goal is to have a snowfall map out to you first thing tomorrow morning. The reason I'm waiting is I want to see tonight's data. I want to see the early morning data tomorrow morning. I do feel confident in snowfall occurring. What I'm a little bit less confident in is exactly what is on that map. Greatest area of uncertainty. Basically, for the heart of Kentucky. The reason that is there, that box is there, is because that deformation band that we talked about, it might set up. We need to identify the location of that deformation band that will enhance snowfall totals for someone. We need to figure out where exactly that's going to set up. We need to figure out exactly the timing of the short wave and when it interacts with the moisture. Again, that spark and where it happens, super crucial. We need to figure out the entire duration of the event. Now, that model I just showed you showed a 14-hour long event. Is it really going to be 14 hours? We need to verify that with the nighttime data and the morning data. I will tell you that as we're talking, the system that we're talking about is being sampled. It has just now made it onto land, I think within the last hour and a half. So with that being sampled, we get a lot more data at play. It will actually help us to identify what exactly that system is made of, and that is super important to understanding where things are going to set up. So current probability is absolutely highest down in south central and southeastern Kentucky, basically from Murray over to Pikeville, Somerset, and Bowling Green included in that. Go a little bit north of that toward the parkways, northern Hopkinsville, Campbellsville, Danville. Those areas have a 75% chance of seeing measurable snow. By the way, measurable snow is at least 1 inch. Do I think there's more than that at play? Absolutely. Someone in Kentucky, in fact, I absolutely believe the two purple zones will meet the criteria for a winter storm in Kentucky. That blue zone will be very close. That light blue zone should at least meet an advisory level. And then that very, very light or pale blue going almost to white up there toward Florence, Kentucky, maybe just about an inch out of this, unfortunately, for you guys up there if you're a snow lover. But I do think a great chunk of Kentucky by tomorrow morning will be under a winter storm watch. For another great chunk of Kentucky, I think by tomorrow morning will be under a winter weather advisory. And again, you're asking me, I know I'm going to look over in this comment section. I'm going to see multiple comments asking, can this shift? Can this move? It absolutely can. I'm not saying in any way that this is set in stone. That's why I have not made a snowfall map just yet, because I do expect this to move. Again, 40% chance up for northern Kentucky, basically Louisville to Owensboro, and again, that can change. 55% chance for measurable snowfall from Paducah to Madisonville to Litchfield to Elizabethtown to Lexington, Moorhead, Ashland. That can all change as well. So the greatest area of uncertainty, which is what that box means there, it really is all about when that deformation band sets up and if it's going to allow for some enhanced snowfall in that portion of Kentucky, which is why it's extremely uncertain there for now. Cody, I haven't even began to think about looking at that just yet, my friend, honestly. Jason, thank you for your 50 stars. I'm going to answer some of your questions now. If I do miss your question, please don't get upset with me. There are over 800 viewers between YouTube and Facebook, so a lot of comments are flying through. So if I miss it, please don't be mad at me. Also, if I start seeing repetitive questions, I'm not going to really pay attention to those just because, again, I don't want to waste anyone else's time. Also, not going to answer snowfall accumulation expectation questions. Again, I need to see late night model data come in a couple of hours, and I need to see morning data come in tomorrow morning in order to get a really accurate expectation. I could put a number out there for you now, but the accuracy of it and the confidence in it is not going to be to my standard. Where is Lexington on the map? It's on the right side of the map. Laura, there is another shot at some more snowfall next Friday. That's a great question. I have not begun to look at that yet because the track of this storm and where it lays that snowpack is going to impact that Friday storm. So looking at data now for next Friday is going to be just a big waste of time at this point. And I want to say a quick thank you to everyone. The viewership has been insane tonight. There have been so many hearts and likes coming across the screen on Facebook and on YouTube. There are over 150 shares on the Facebook stream. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate all your stars as well. I'm sure I missed some. If you guys did not know, stars or subscribers on Facebook are a way that you can help monetarily support the WNK team. We do appreciate it. It's not required. Lynn Reynolds on YouTube says, "You're just being honest. It can shift." Thank you for that compliment there. Do you think there will be black ice under the snow? I don't think so because, again, we're not talking about a period of rain or sleet to start with this. When it starts, it's going to be all snow. When it's going, it will be all snow. And when it ends, it will be all snow as well. So I don't think we're talking about any real chance at some ice in this system. Again, Dylan, we're not covering snowfall amounts tonight. Those will be published tomorrow morning. So if you haven't already, guys, I actually got it right here. Kind of coincidence. Twitter will get it first. Twitter's always pushing my stuff out first for some reason. So if you haven't already, follow us on Twitter. We're almost to 500 there. We're trying to grow the Twitter at Weather Down Kentucky there. We're also on Facebook, obviously, for those of you watching there. We're also on YouTube. Our snowfall maps will be published tomorrow morning. I will likely do another live broadcast tomorrow as well to give you the latest information on what to expect. If one of the mods are in here, can you guys put the Twitter handle and stuff down in the chat? Stars Party Challenge started. Oh my goodness, are we going to get a Star Party achieved? Thank you so much. Really, I'm going to butcher this name. Kianya? I'm so sorry. I know I just absolutely butchered that. Thank you so much for your contribution. I appreciate you. This has been the longest I've seen totals not being thrown out there, so this may be a 1994 situation. Josh, I absolutely do not think this is a 1994 situation. That was a historic snowstorm that I wish I was alive for. The reason we're not throwing snowfall totals out there, I am confident that generally speaking, 3 to 6 inches will be the most common theme throughout a chunk of Kentucky. It's just finding the specific details, right, before we issue the map, because some counties will be on the lower side of that, some counties will be on the higher end of that, and I don't want to give people false expectations. Militia, thank you for your 100 stars. I appreciate you. Nancy, thank you for your 50 stars. I appreciate you so much. Esmeralda on YouTube says, if it shifts, do you think it will go more north or south? There's really no answer in that. It's really just a wait and see type of game on that. Mandy, thank you for the 99 stars. Chastity says, you weren't alive in 1994? Question mark, question mark, question mark. You're a baby. Yeah, no, I was born in 1997, guys. But I have been told many times I'm pretty old for my age. I mean, look at my hairline, all right? I might as well be 30 or 40. Thank you, Bree. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate you guys putting that in there. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter. I'll shout out some of the people that do it. Oh, my. There's already a lot of people. Aaron, tired of the BS. I love that name, by the way. Debbie, Sassy Kentucky Bell, Dave Fitz Jr. Thank you guys for the follows on Twitter. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate you. What should Louisville expect? I think a great period of snowfall is expected. But again, I'm not really putting out any amounts just yet. Make sure you check back tomorrow morning for that. I do think the main bulk of the snowfall, guys, will start around Sunday evening and go into late Monday morning. I think we're talking about a long duration event of light snowfall. Tony has a great question. Difference between winter storm and I'm guessing you mean a winter weather advisory. A winter storm is at least 4 inches of snowfall within a 24-hour period. Or a winter weather advisory is, I believe, at least 2 inches of snowfall. Or they may have changed it to 1 inch of snowfall within a 20 or 12-hour period, I think. Don't quote me on that. They keep changing them. Or on both of those, or impacts, right? So you're talking about really hazardous travel. Are we going to expect schools to be closed next week? Loretta, I have no idea what schools are going to do. They're really unpredictable. They really are. But if I had to guess, even if we don't see a big snowfall to this, guys, there will be some school closings next week because the wind chills next week are absolutely looking brutal. By the way, I believe frostbite is set in within 15 minutes if you go below -10 on the wind chills. So that's why a lot of school systems end up closing if wind chills are below -10. I believe, you don't quote me on it. Monday marks 30 years to the date of the huge 1994 storm. That's pretty coincidental, isn't it? Where is your new daddy sippy cup? Oh, that's a great question. It's actually in the dishwasher, I believe. When will the Weather Service issue an advisory or warning for us? I noticed Todd West has already got their advisory. So, Laura, there's different National Weather Services. There's actually 3 different National Weather Services in Kentucky that cover Kentucky. You have NWS Paducah, NWS Louisville, NWS Jackson. They're always, excuse my language here, but they're always having a pissing match in between each other, right? I don't know what it is, but they really do. There's really no telling. I do expect, though, tomorrow afternoon by the absolute latest. Josiah with the 200 stars. Thank you so much for your kindness. I appreciate you. We are 30 seconds away and only 7% away from achieving that stars party. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. Of course, Cheap Shot on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. Can we expect hazardous travel after the smaller events tonight, or were you talking about Sunday and Monday? So actually, some places in like North Central and I believe Northeastern Kentucky can expect some hazardous or some slick spots to develop tonight going into Sunday morning. Because again, only dusting is going to fall tonight for most folks. But we're talking about dusting with, temperatures between 5 to 15 degrees. Slick spots can easily develop outside of that or inside of those types of conditions. So yes, slick spots are expected tonight and hazardous travel expected Sunday night going into Monday morning. Josiah with the 50 stars helps us achieve the star party. Thank you so much. It's the uncertainty. I missed that comment. Hang on. Is the uncertainty the reason the National Weather Service Louisville has not issued a watch or advisory for Kentucky? Tennessee has already issued a winter storm watch. So yeah, Marla, the model data has definitely been more consistent for Tennessee. The model data is just now starting to trend more snowy for Kentucky. So I absolutely can understand why the National Weather Service offices in Kentucky has held off so far, but I fully expect that advisories, watches, and warnings will start to be issued tomorrow morning. Rebecca with the 100 stars, thank you so much. Ashley says, thanks, George. Trying to plan for the beta convention in Lexington and travel ideas. Yeah, I actually talked to someone that was thinking about taking their beta team tomorrow, and we advised them not to. Just because based off the way that they're traveling. I think they were going from Hart County, to Lexington, and that's a bad travel path for tomorrow morning. On top of that, guys, wind chills are going to be absolutely brutal tomorrow. You don't want to have kids that are at risk of getting frostbitten or whatever it might be. I work in Louisville but live in Hodgenville. What early Monday morning look like? Again, extremely cold. I'm not going to put out snowfall totals, but it will be snowy and extremely cold. So being it's within 48 hours, it would be safe to go get some warmer clothes. Best believe me, my 4-year-old will be out playing in it. Yeah, Megan, I definitely think that there will be measurable snow. I want to make it very clear. There will be measurable snowfall on Sunday and Monday. It's for pretty much all of Kentucky. It's just a matter of figuring out where exactly the best accumulations are going to set up versus some others. So, but I do think almost all of Kentucky will see measurable snowfall on Sunday and Monday. Melissa with another 100 stars. Thank you so much for your kindness. Adam with 99 stars. Rebecca with 100 stars. Thank you guys so much for your all's kindness with all the stars. So I guess I should buy a snow shovel. Robin, you absolutely should, and you should only buy it from Right Implement. Partnered Right Implement. They have 15 locations. 15. By the way, the customer service at Right Implement and Box Shop Bardstown. Are you kidding me? Great. Terry says, looks like Muhlenberg County, Kentucky will get around 2 inches. I'm not sure who told you that, but we have not put out our forecast yet. Hope you all have a safe travel to the convention and back. Absolutely. What about Bowling Green, Eric? We have not issued any snowfall total expectations just yet, but in Bowling Green, you can absolutely expect snowy conditions from Sunday evening up until Monday morning. Kelly with the 1,000 stars. Thank you so much for your kindness. I appreciate you so much, Kelly. Thank you a lot. Just moved here from Florida. Well, welcome to Kentucky, Robin. It would be a bad day to have car, bus, mechanical trouble. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, Chastity. So for situations like traveling to a school convention during situations like this, you have to prepare for the worst case scenarios or think of the worst case scenarios. So my advice to the two schools that reached out to me was to avoid it, even if there are no slick spots, because you don't want kids sitting out in the cold. David, thank you for the 99 stars. I appreciate you. On local news tonight, well, I'm happy for them. Can we expect advisory warning for Lexington? I think there is at least that expectation, Loretta. We were told yesterday they would make a decision by the end of the day on if it was canceled, so we are going to assume they aren't going to cancel it. For the beta convention. Yeah, Terry, you just have to be really careful with that type of stuff. I mean, you're not talking about just snow. You're talking about wind chills of -10, only warming to about 0 that day as well. Kids aren't the most responsible people in the world, even if they are phenomenal beta students. Not the most responsible people, not going to be the most responsibly dressed. The stuff you have to think about. So no snow tonight for Georgetown, Kentucky. I do think some snowfall is possible tonight, Gail. Just a light dusting, though, at the most. How about Hopkinsville? Any snow tonight? I do think a couple snow showers are possible in Hopkinsville, but I think you're not really looking at any type of accumulation tonight. What are we at here, timing wise? Oh my God, where's my clock at? 41 minutes. I've definitely gone way over. So that's going to do it for us. If you are just now tuning in, all the information is in the video. You can watch it on playback. You can skip through some things. You can do whatever you want, right? That's going to be it for us, though, because I wanted to keep it under 30 minutes, but here we are at 41. I will probably do another broadcast tomorrow morning. We'll have an update with our snowfall map out tomorrow morning as well. We did not release snowfall numbers tonight because, again, there are still some variables that need to be ironed out with nighttime data. That responsibly, we're just going to wait. I could put something out like on one of these big media stations just to get you to click on it, but I'm not about giving you false information just so you can give me money. That's not what I'm about. So we're going to be a little bit more responsible with it and just kind of wait till tomorrow morning. I know that kind of sucks. A lot of you want to see numbers tonight. I do too. I'm a big snow lover, but just got to wait it out a little bit longer. If you haven't gotten the information, again, this will be available on both our YouTube and Facebook. Thank you to all the new followers on Twitter, by the way. I see a bunch of new names coming in. Twitter will get the update first tomorrow. Twitter's just faster with publishing our posts for some reason. I'm not sure why. Facebook's so slow, but it is what it is. Thank you again to our partners, Right Implement and Box Drop Barstown. Make sure you go visit their pages and websites and get a free pillow at Box Drop Barstown if you make a purchase, I believe, of a mattress, which, by the way, is 30 to 80% off retail stores. So get your free pillow. Go to Right Implement. Get your snow equipment ready. Get snow apparel, whatever it may be. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. It's been a phenomenal broadcast. I want to sit here and chat with you guys longer, but I don't want to keep rambling. Penny, thank you for the 20 stars. David, I already said that as well, but thank you for your 99 stars. With that being said, I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here for WNK. Until next time, stay safe and stay warm, Kentucky.